So ladies and gentlemen, in this discussion, we are looking at the maximum velocity to avoid skidding away of a vehicle that is moving along a level circular path. So if this vehicle, we said if this vehicle is describing or is negotiating a corner and we have a leveled path, then if it is to skid away, the force mv squared out of r must be greater than the force of friction. The force of friction between the tires, okay, and the ground, okay. The force of mv squared out of r must be greater than the force of friction between the tires and the ground. So if that happens, then you'll have skidding out of the circular path. So when you skid away, then obviously it is like sliding over this vehicle when it is negotiating a corner. So to avoid that, the frictional force must equal to, to avoid that, the frictional force must always be greater. So if it is greater than mv squared out of r, then you will have no skidding away. But should we make sure that we increase our speed, we are going to reach a limiting value while negotiating that corner. To avoid skidding, the maximum speed is going to be obtained when there is a state of equilibrium between mv squared out of r and the friction force. So if we consider the two tires, what is the friction force? Friction force at the two tires. Now, I'm going to consider nu to be uniform. So let's have a coefficient of friction being nu and being constant. So the force of friction, Fr will equal to Ra, first of all, times nu plus Rb times nu. So this gives you nu into Ra plus Rb. Now, Fc, which is the centrifugal force, will equal to mv squared out of r. So at equilibrium, that is, we are limiting the maximum speed to prevent skidding. So if skidding is not to happen, then this speed must never be greater than some value. Therefore, Fc must never be greater than Fr. In other words, Fr will always be greater than, that is to avoid skidding. Fr will be greater than Fc. So at equilibrium, Fr will equal to Fc, that is at equilibrium. So what does that mean? We shall have a nu into Ra plus Rb, which is the same as nu r if I take Ra plus Rb to equal to r. So this will equal to mv squared out of r. So what does that mean? I already know that r is equal to mg. Yes, at that particular point. So meaning nu mg will equal to mv squared out of r. That and that will go. Okay. So what does that mean? V squared will equal to nu rg. So V max, the velocity or the speed must never be greater than this. So the maximum is going to be the square root of Rg times nu, which is the coefficient of friction between the wheels or the tires of the vehicle and the rough path, which is the level of the ground.